Am I the asshole for laughing when my son came home from meeting his girlfriend's parents because he chose to behave like he does at home? My son burps a lot while eating. I've tried telling him multiple times that it's rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow air with his food. I've told him that it is disgusting. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She says that's just the way he is and it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself, but he chooses not to. So he just went on a date with his girlfriend last night and she tore him a new asshole. It was his first time meeting her parents since they live in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant and he burped all the way through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like a jackass in front of her family.
Ew.
I heard him telling my wife about it and I laughed. She asked what was so funny, and I reminded them both that I had tried dozens of times, if not hundreds, to teach him table manners, and he rejected them, and she protected him. I said he is now a grown man, and he had to learn the hard way. They both think that his girlfriend overreacted, and that I am an asshole for being amused by his experience.
No, I don't think so. I will say I'm guilty of this, though. My ZO used to bribe me and my sister if we didn't burp for like a whole year at the dinner table, he would give us money. He really tried. Never worked.
I'm on your uncle's side.
No, I can totally see how this can be something that is just natural to you. Like, okay, yeah, if you're not going to try and hold yourself to the standard of having manners, then yeah, it will come out at inopportune times when you least want it to, but it's just going to be natural for your body to continue to do it. And
yeah,
you won't even realize it.
Yeah. Happens to you quite a bit, I guess.
Me?
Eh?
Why?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised pretty strictly, but I was raised that I can control my burping and I don't burp. Like when you met me, did I burp?
No, literally never.
You made me comfortable burping.
Yeah,
because I would never burp around you.
Yeah.
I would like swallow it down or whatever, or like do like this as silent as I could if I need to. It's very rare that I had to. I was raised not to fart and burp. Yeah, inopportune times. Like you're supposed to hide that stuff. It's not public. You don't do that in front of everybody. You don't do that around family.
Yeah.
You bury that stuff down. You have made it openly.
I guess I don't know
farting
why.
and burping house.
That's just the way my parents were also. Like.
Is Frank always burping at the dinner table?
More my dad.
Not that I've noticed. I haven't really noticed your parents burp.
Where did I get it from? I don't know.
I don't know.
But now as an adult, I do agree with OP, and I am like, that is kind of gross, and like, what was that? What was that?
It's a little burp that came up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. As an adult now, I'm like, that's kind of gross. And you also like, you want what's best for your kid, right? Like, you don't want them to embarrass themselves.
Right, but then what do you do when your wife just shuts you down?
Definitely, I think it's a valid reaction to laugh and be like, haha, I told you so. Haha.
Exactly.
Like,
Take your moment.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out, bud. This is my moment to laugh in your face.
Exactly.
Top comment, not the asshole. I also laughed at this. How old is your son? Doesn't matter either way. There are times for this behavior. Dinner at a restaurant is not one of those times. Girlfriend did not overreact. Hopefully he learns a valuable lesson from this. And OP replies and says, 22.
Damn.
Somebody says, 20 goddamn 2? I was expecting like 16 or some shit.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's...
Someone else says, surprised he didn't fart, stick his hand in his pants, then ask his date to sniff while going, hallelujah.
That doesn't say hallelujah. It says hoo 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 hoo.
You're right.
Where the fuck did you see hallelujah?
I don't know. Fuck me. Words are hard. Yeah. I hope she breaks up with him. He needs to learn a lesson.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's not totally breakup worthy.
No, I don't think it's breakup worthy.
Like if I was if I found it really unattractive of your burping and it bothered me, I would have communicated it.
I think the biggest issue here is that he did it in front of her parents, and in public.
Yeah.
Like you're not just
burping
doing
at
it
like Teresa's not belching out burps when we go to a restaurant. She's not in the middle of like chewing down her steak and just. She does it at home in the comfort of our privacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting me on blast.
You're welcome. You know what she does? You know what,
I mean, I kind of did it myself.
Do you know what Teresa does do at the restaurant that I find embarrassing? But
what?
Most of you guys probably won't because it's due to my childhood trauma. She eats with her utensils in the wrong hand. She always eats with her steak knife in the left hand and her fork in her right hand. No matter what she eats, her fork is in her right hand.
I cannot swap now. I am 26 years old. This is what I've known. I've been eating like this for 26 years. You just want me to swap? You try swapping and tell me how that feels.
When you guys go to the restaurant, do you put your fork in your left hand and your knife in your right hand? Or do you have them swap?
Why does it matter if you're at a restaurant or not?
Doesn't matter. When you eat, when you're at a restaurant, sometimes you try to eat a little bit better. You don't burp at the restaurant.
No,
you don't fart as loud as you can when you're at the restaurant.
No, I promise you, no one is looking at what hand your utensils are in.
Me, if you ever have dinner with me, I'll be looking. Also, I guarantee you the servers are noticing.
There's no chance in hell. Any servers listening to this, please comment if you ever pay attention to anybody eating with the utensils. No way.
I think depends on the restaurant. The server will notice. Option 1, server. When they set the table to where the fork and knife are wrapped around a napkin. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to unwrap it yourself. That server probably won't give a fuck. But you go to a restaurant where it's fancy and you sit down at your table and your fork is on your left side and your knife is on your right side.
I guarantee
and maybe there's
noticing.
like 2 forks and like there's no steak knife, but there's a couple like butter knives, and then you get a steak knife when you get a steak, and there's spoons at the top. Those people are judging.
No.
Judging.
No.
If the fork is on the left and the knife is on the right, in between your plate, they're expecting you to eat it like that. You have to manually swap the cutlery in order to start eating.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're doing it wrong. When you set the table and the knife is on the left, or the knife is on the right and the fork is on the left, that's how you set a table. So if you don't eat that way, you are doing it wrong because the table's already been set. I can't take you to anybody.
I still stand by my sentiment.
We cannot go eat in front of royalty with you.
Good thing we will never have to.
What if we want to go meet the queen? Or
will the queen want to meet us?
One of our followers has a castle in Norway, and they want to invite us for a meal.
Is that the queen?
No, it's just people over there have like castles and like they still have like butlers and stuff.
You're fucking weird.
You're fucking weird the way you eat shit. And then when we're at a restaurant, you can never put your fork and knife on the plate together.
Yes, I do.
To signify that you're done.
I always do that.
You do that now. And I was thinking it was your sister. Last time I sat beside your sister.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you got to do that.
Yeah, I always do that. So the server
knows you're done. And she's like, huh? But I will admit, this was my mother's upraising for me. And my mother was a stickler for that stuff. So... Maybe
it's a issue.
It is definitely an issue that I have. So,
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Back to you.
All right.